So in this image, I'm going to take you through using blending modes to correct small areas of your image. So if we look at this image, we see that his face is really dark, and especially his sweater right in here. So we can adjust those areas without touching the rest of the image by using the blending modes in our layers. So to do this, what we want to do is select any one of these adjustments. So we could just select a curves adjustment, and then we want to change the blending mode here from normal to screen. And you notice when we change it to screen, the whole picture goes bright. And actually his face looks great here, but the whole background now has gotten washed out. So what I want to do is I want to invert this, or take this layer back to where it was. So we could just go Adjustments, Invert, and the shortcut for that is Control I. And you see that we are back to where we were. Now to make the adjustment, I'm going to make my brush size a little bit smaller here. Just maybe smaller than his face. And then I'm going to make sure that my foreground color is white. Once I've done that, I'll start to paint across his face and across the areas that we want to brighten up. And you can see that we've only touched the areas that we've painted on. The rest of the image has remained exactly the same. And you can see in our little icon here that that spot that we've painted on has gone white. Now again, we have the opacity tool at our disposal. So let's say maybe I went a little too bright with that. I can always dial that down by using that opacity tool. So I'm going to delete this layer. I'm going to actually go in and do just the opposite of this. I'm going to go in and change the blending layer to multiply, and we can see how everything gets darker. So let's say I want to put a little vignette on this image and darken up sort of the edges here. So by multiplying, we're darkening things up. So I paint in a little bit of that adjustment in the corners of the image here, as Photoshop works to catch up with me. We'll let that do its work. And then once it does that, we can see that, again, our whole strategy of approaching the photograph in very small parts rather than this big gigantic part is one that's going to help us kind of refine our image in a very specific and clear way. So